to do a little get to know me, because I feel like my last get to know me was trash. So I'm gonna tell you about all the jobs that I've had over the years while I paint my nails. You see me looking at my phone. It is literally me looking at my notes app, because I wrote down all the jobs that I've had and rated them. This lighting is kind of trash, but like not trash. So we're gonna start out, the job, rating, and then why I rated it that. I have had, I believe, 12 jobs since I turned 16 and started working at 16. I tried to get a job at a hair salon. They thought I was a midget because I was so short. Didn't work. So McDonald's, which is literally down the street from my house in Holland. My aunt worked there, so she got me the job, and literally maybe like a month or so after I turned 16, I started working there. So what I have in here, it says, McDonald's is my first job. It taught me the building blocks of responsibility and how to deal with customers. It was also a very hard time because I had to learn how to stick up for myself. Okay, we're gonna try and make this like under 10 minutes. So a quick explanation. And I rated it a 3. So rating of 3. Why I rated it that was, first of all, my first day was trash. There was a manager there. We're gonna call her M. She was so mean to me on my first day. Everybody there spoke a different language than me. They all spoke the same language, and they would literally talking about me. My first day went so horribly. I walked home and cried and wanted to quit, and my mom was like, you can't let them win. For exact quotes, you can't let them bitches win, is what my mom told me. The weeks to follow, one of my other friends started working there with me, and she was going through a hard time, and she obviously had self-harm marks on her arm. And I stood up to the main girl who was making fun of her, like taunting her so bad, even worse than me. And I was like, no, you're not gonna sit there and talk about her like she's not here. She's obviously, like, I stood up for her and told her off, and they respected me after that. And I ended up liking it somewhat. I quit because I was moving and didn't have a car yet, a little before my 18th birthday. Alright, so then the next job I had was, I worked at the same time I was working at McDonald's, I worked at this clothing store that was in my, like, downtown of my town. And I rated that a 4. I feel like that's being generous. I didn't really like it. It was super boring. It turned me off of retail for the rest of my life. Like, I never want to do retail ever again. And my next job after that was a grocery store called Myers. I rated that a 1. That was the only job that I had ever quit. The manager of the entire store was an asshole. He literally accused me of forging my own doctor's note, and basically brought me into the office, told me that if the doctor gave me this, I got duped, and he basically doesn't believe me. Said the same thing over and over again. I was about to, like, leave to go back to my my position, and he was like, if you walk out that door, you're done. And I said, fine. I quit and walked out. And then, of course, I went home and cried my eyeballs out. My mom went over there and told him off. Like, told him off. But he was literally, like, an asshole. He would make employees cry daily. I don't know what his agenda was. And then after that, job number 4 was, I worked at a movie theater called, like, I think it was like Goodrich Quality Theaters. Again, trash. I rated that one a 1 as well. I did not like the management. The job itself was alright, but the management was trash. They favoritism so much. The girls were, I hated the girls that worked there. it gets better. Trust me, it gets better. The next job I worked as a sample girl at Sam's Club. I don't have any pictures of me working at Sam's Club, but yeah. So me and my mom both worked there. My mom worked there before me, and then I joined after. It was actually really fun. I loved all the women who worked there. It was fun working with my mom and then getting to sample and try new foods and talk to customers. And yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed working with my mom. Then I worked I rated working at Sam's Club a 5. I also worked at Orange Leaf. I rated that a 5 as well. Orange Leaf was my favorite job working in my town because I got to kind of just like do my own thing, but I applied at Orange Leaf 2 years before I got the actual job. I guess they actually do keep it was a small business, literally small owned. This Christian woman, she owned it. And I would like periodically email her and be like, hey, like I'm looking for a blah, blah, blah. The hours were trash and the pay was trash, but I got free it's a frozen yogurt place. I got free frozen yogurt and I got to kind of like vibe and do my own thing. Literally like I'll be in the back making yogurt bases, listening to music, and I could be by myself. I really liked that. I think, what did I say for this one? Yeah, and then my next job, I ended up quitting that job because the pay, and I wasn't getting the amount of money that I needed. So I started working at a place called Gentex. It's a factory that makes car parts. That was my first ever factory job. Also, I was getting paid, I think, $14 to $15 an hour, which being in the Midwest is like pretty good. And we also got bonuses, and I got healthcare, like full benefits. First grown-up job. It was okay. I rated that a 3. Again, because management trash. Favoritism trash. I believe that the managers that were in charge did racially profile their employees. All of the African American and Latino folks were being ridiculed, and I didn't realize that till up until the time that I was about to leave. I told them that I was moving to LA, and I handed in my 2 weeks, and literally before I handed in a week after I handed in my 2 weeks, we had our review, and he told me that I wasn't doing a good job, my numbers were low. And I was like, why would you tell me this almost after working there for 2 years? I had a breakdown, cried, could not leave. I was so distraught in the bathroom. I just walked out. And I'm like, why would y'all do this 2 weeks before I was about to move? Fuck you. And then I moved to LA. I started working at another theater. I can say it now. It's Pacific Theaters at the Grove. I worked there for almost 2 years. And my experience at this theater was so much better than working at the Good Rich Quality theaters. I absolutely loved it. The pay obviously wasn't great. It was, when you're getting hours, it doesn't matter as much. But when you're not getting hours, the pay kind of sucks. So I met some of my favorite people there. I found my producer there. I found my producer there. I met a really good friend there. Everybody was amazing. We always had fun, and I got to watch a lot of movies. I probably saw almost every single movie in. There's one time where I've seen everything that was playing, and I just couldn't go anymore because I've seen everything. So I loved it there. I miss it so much sometimes. After I got a second job, because the movie business started to go kind of decline, and we were getting less hours. People were not coming to the theater as much. We weren't getting as many good movies. So I started working at Soulcycle. I worked at Soulcycle in Beverly Hills. I rated that one. I rated the movie theater a 6, and I rated Soulcycle a 4. And what I said, because I feel like what I wrote is accurate still, working at the theater put me in my comfort zone. Working at Soul was just to make. I was working at Soulcycle just to make more money, but it kind of held up a mirror to my face and made me see my insecurities, not feeling good enough to be there, pretty enough to work there. I did meet some really great girls, for that I can say. Okay, so basically, like, working at Soulcycle, working at the theater, I was in my comfort zone. I felt safe. I knew what was expected of me. Going to Soulcycle was only supposed to be like extra money, but it ended up holding a mirror to my face and making me look at my insecurities. Like, there were several times when I would go in and I wouldn't feel good enough to be there. I wouldn't feel pretty enough to be there. I felt so like I wanted to kind of just hide myself. So a lot of times I really didn't talk or mingle. It took me a really long time to warm up to the girls that work there, but they were great girls, and honestly in the end I enjoyed it. I ended up loving my managers, loving the experience, but it was mostly like you're not ready for what you want yet. You need to do more work on yourself, and that's what Soulcycle kind of made me realize in the end. And and then I was also working as the hive manager. This is 11 minutes. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up really quickly. So I was working at my complex. If you guys watch the later vlogs, then you'll know that I used to manage my apartment. It was a co-living situation. I would clean, I would interview, I would do background checks and clean the house, make sure everything was stable in the house. That was for probably like a little under a year. One, because again, like, we're cordial now. Management was trash. I wasn't getting paid what I felt I deserved, and it was kind of just taking a toll on me working where I lived, and the expectations and the payoff was not it. I did learn a lot about myself, and I love all of the girls that I met, and a lot of them are still in my life, and I cherish the times that we spent together. It was literally a big part of my life, and I miss it every single day. Yeah, I just felt like I had found my family out in LA, and it just made me feel safe and secure. And then my last two are where I work now. I'm a front desk agent at a beachfront hotel. I rated that a 3. And then I said, this is, it's a learning experience. It was fast paced and made me have to use my brain and focus a lot. I'm still at this place, so I'm still learning, and I'm still figuring out like my way through that company. That's all I have to say at this time. And then Sweet Green, I rated a 7. Honestly, I love working at Sweet Green. I literally just got off work. I love working there. The pay is good. The hours aren't as good because it's like, you know, hourly based, and a lot of food places aren't giving out as many hours because they're not open as much and they're not getting a lot of foot traffic business. But honestly, it's about the soul. I feel like I have met so many genuine souls working at Sweet Green. I walk in there and I feel like my soul is fed. Obviously it's a job and you're not going to feel this way every time you're working, but for the most part I go in there, I laugh, I have fun, I do my job. Everybody is super nice. My managers are super great. They do their job, but they also care about you as a person, and that's honestly what a lot of management in my experience is missing. They look at you as just a person and you're disposable. Yes, that's true, but I'm also like, I might come into work and be distraught and crying. Do you care why I'm distraught and crying? A lot of managers don't. They don't take the time to be like, how are you? Like, oh my God, you look so pretty today. You did your makeup. Like, they don't take the time to do that. And even like, I feel like working at places like the theater and Soulcycle and Sweet Green, you find people, this is not their permanent job. This is their placeholding job. They're usually doing something else outside of it, and I love having access to that, so we can talk about that. Like, we're all more well-rounded people, and yes, this is not a forever job, but we're not coming in every day saying that I hate it here. A lot of jobs that I've had, people come in saying that they hate it, and I'm like, I don't want to be around that. I mean, every job is gonna have that one person, but for the most part, like, we're here to make $1. We're here to clock a check and then go and do what we gotta do. But don't be a Debbie Downer or a soul sucker while you're there. And I can honestly say that I don't feel like my soul is being sucked out of my body every time I work at Sweet Green. I feel like my soul is being fed, and I come feeling more motivated and happy and energetic than ever. Not every day, but most days. All right, I ended up talking more and not doing this hand, so I'm gonna do this hand. I'm gonna finish my makeup, and then I have my birthday photo shoot. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching this on my IG, please go to my Instagram page and follow. And if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It would mean so much to me to get to 100 subscribers. Please guys, talk to me in the comments. I love interacting with people. That's honestly like the best thing when people actually take interest and comment. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.